What is an MLS listing? Well, I can understand why that's a little bit confusing because MLS doesn't have anything to do with the house that you want to buy. It stands for Multiple Listing Service. My name is Taylor. This is Hack&Co at Remax River City, and we called this segment Real Estate Remarks. This is exclusive to YouTube, where we want to just talk through some of the elements in real estate that we find interesting being on the inside and we think that you might like being on the outside. So when we take a look at the MLS listing service, what is it? Well, technically, it's almost like a formula. And what I mean by that is that there's rules related to the service about how listings are displayed, because the MLS service is probably the best way to get exposure in almost every market. So taking a look at that in general, I think you could kind of break it down to looking at these like they're a dating profile. And what I mean by that is most dating profiles look pretty similar to most real estate listings. You got pictures over here, you've got the specifications over there, and then you have a write-up that often is nothing to do with anything that you need. However, there's ways to decode these and understand that a lot of the specifications and where they put things like site influences come from drop-down menus. So it might not describe it as exactly as you would picture it, but it would be the closest thing available. The other thing that you need to know is most of the paragraphs they write are actually limited to like a little over 1,000 characters. And because of this, it will mean that there's going to be lots of commas in there. Sometimes there is shorthand, and maybe agents out there also use keyword strategies inside of these listings to rank them up on the internet. There's lots of neat ways to compete in places where you think everything is standard, but that is actually the design of the MLS system, is to standardize everything. Like the way that you measure houses to display them on there is universal, and it comes from regulatory bodies. There's rules about how many pictures you can have and what can be displayed in the pictures and where you put advertising. And this kind of keeps it nice and clean and valuable, actually, because standardizing information is like the name of the game. If this square footage over here represents only the main floor of that house, but over here it represents all 3 floors, it gets really confusing to the people looking at houses. So if you're looking at MLS services, we know that the majority of people kind of look at them backwards. So I'm going to give you some quick notes. One, I would suggest looking at pictures last. What we know from the outside is most people look through pictures, see if they like stuff, and then look at specifications to see if it's going to fit them, and after that they read the paragraph. And what I'm suggesting is you look for the specs first. See if it's actually going to fit you before you fall in love with the kitchen, because I think, like dating, many people have fallen in love with the wrong person. And sometimes that's the wrong house. So if you're looking at MLS listings and you're wondering a little bit more about them, then take a look at them from that aspect. Somebody is trying to represent information that's going to be apples to apples with other houses out there, and you can decode some of this by taking a look at things in the order that maybe they should be as being important. One is the location. Where the house is matters more than anything else. The second is the characteristics. Those specifications, especially whether or not it can house families with 3 bedrooms upstairs, will split the market in how they see that property, so you should know that too. And then there's also information based on the condition of the house that you can see from the pictures, but most of the properties that have good photography may look better than they actually are, so it's really important to go and try a few on. The other thing that you might want to note is that how long the property has been listed is often part of the listing, but not always how you'd want to receive it. And what I mean by that is it could be days on market for this listing, even though this is the property's 3rd listing. In our market, that's the way it is. In some other markets, they're starting to do cumulative days on market, which even adds some transparency. I hope that allows you to decode some of these MLS listings and have a better experience in real estate. And if you're interested in more information like this, make sure to like, subscribe, hit that little bell so that we can ding you next time we have something to say. And please, consider saving your friends from 3-star experiences by sending them to the team that has the highest rated ratings and reviews online on the verified review service of rankmyagent.com. I hope you guys are doing awesome. Cheers.